Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, the Johnny Depp trial has taken, obviously, quite an interesting turn today. And in this video specifically, obviously my highlight breakdown, this is actually Johnny Depp giving testimony on the finger. Now, this has long been discussed and rumoured. We've heard recordings about it all. And now it's all coming to light, obviously, in this trial. Now, the video I did previously, which actually details why Amber got mad and subsequently this event occurred, is all about her refusal to get a prenup and a postnup. So, interesting that it would then develop so far and above the realms of rationality that his finger would become shattered. Baffling, but here you have it, ladies and gents. Those squeamish, you might not want to watch this video because there is a pretty gruesome picture within it. If you appreciate the videos, hit the thumbs up. And please do subscribe and give the video a share, because I will be continuing this coverage during the trial.
Can you please describe that chaos and violence?
Yes, she was irate. She was irate, and she was possessed. And when I tried to remove myself, as I normally would from a situation, and that is to say, as she's hammering me with sort of brutal words, and it wasn't nice sort of being called an ass kisser to lawyers or a pussy that didn't fight for her or stand up for her. Again, tried to remove myself from the situation, but to no avail. I think that I ended up locking myself in about at least 9 bedrooms, bathrooms that day, as she was banging on the doors and screaming obscenities and wanting to have a physical altercation.
So how did it come to be that your finger became injured?
There was at one point where I'd stayed in one of the, sitting on a bathroom floor, door locked, she's banging away, screaming, blah, 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 and then suddenly she stopped, and I could hear her walk away. I could hear her sort of receding into the distance, if you will, and yes, yes, it became very emotional, because you can't win for losing. There was nothing I could do to make her understand that I had, if that lawyer had in fact done that, and I did call my lawyer at the time, Jake Bloom, and I had him get these people on the phone, and I'm ashamed to say that I had taken, at that point when I was on the phone with him, I had taken Miss Heard's words to heart, and I laid out a ration of I was very upset that she was pushed to that limit, because I had believed it. And in fact, none of it had happened. So it was all getting too crazy. And again, I had been sober for many, many months from alcohol and substances, aside from the marijuana. And I left the place, the room that I was hiding in, or not hiding, locked myself into. And there was a bar. And I was a mess. I was a wreck. I was shaking I just didn't understand why all this was happening. So I went behind the bar. I grabbed a bottle of vodka that was there and a shot glass and sat at the bar. She was nowhere around. And I poured myself 2 or 3 stiff shots of the vodka. First taste of alcohol I'd had in a long time. And then she came down to the bar and found me there. And of course started screaming, "Oh, you're drinking again, yeah, the monster," and all that. So she walked up to me and reached and grabbed the bottle of vodka, and then just kind of stood back and then hurled it at me, and it just went right past my head and smashed behind me. So I stood up and I walked behind the bar, and there was a larger bottle of vodka, the kind with the handle, you know, on it. I grabbed that and I went and I sat in my seat again. I opened the bottle and I poured myself a shot and drank it. Miss Heard was flinging insults left, right, and center, and she then grabbed that bottle and threw that at me. And the way that the bar was situated and where Miss Heard was, so if I could show you, so if this is the bar where the glass was and the bottles, if this was the bar and I'm sitting here like this, she would grab the bottle and she would go there. She went there. And so I was leaning like this in the chair, looking at her. First bottle went, then got the other bottle, shot. Takes the second bottle, which was the larger one. I'm in this position again, and my hand is on the edge of the bar, like that, you know, leaning over, the fingers like that, and she threw the large bottle, and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And I honestly didn't feel the pain at first at all. I felt no pain whatsoever. What I felt was, I felt heat. I felt heat, and I felt as if something were dripping down my hand, you know. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed, and I was looking directly at my bones sticking out, and the meaty portion of the inside of your finger, and blood was just pouring out. And at that point, I think that I went into some sort of, I don't know what a nervous breakdown feels like, but that's probably the closest that I've ever been. Nothing made sense. And I knew in my mind and in my heart this is not life. This is not life. No one should have to go through this. And as I said, this feeling of nervous, being in the middle of some sort of nervous breakdown, I started to write with my blood, in my own blood, on the walls, little reminders from our past that essentially represented lies that she had told me and lies that I had caught her in. And then the next thing, you know, amongst all the madness, I would again hide in the bathroom or wherever, and I texted Dr. Kipper and I said, you might want to come over. You know, I've cut my finger off here.
Which finger was cut, Mr. Depp?
It's the middle, it's the funny looking one. It's the middle finger here. You can see well, you can see all the sort of, from the initial wound, all these bones up here were crushed, and it looked like Vesuvius, you know. And so this part of my finger now is, so that because of not having use of the tip here, this is basically arthritis that kicks into the joint once that upper part of the finger is mangled.
So is that the right middle finger?
Right middle, yes.
And is that your dominant hand?
Yes, it is, yes.
Mr. Depp, after Ms. Heard threw the vodka bottle at you and severed your finger, what, if anything, did she say when she saw the injury?
I don't recall anything, but just, it was almost like white noise, just someone yelling. It was just a high-pitched, constant attack of insults. It was just jumbled words to me in a very high frequency, and I was in a bit of shock, you know. I was in shock.
Which, if any, of the medical professionals that you saw that day did you tell what happened to your finger?
The doctor asked me what happened, and I lied to him. I said that I had smashed it in these large accordion doors, that it got caught in the accordion doors.
Why would you lie about that?
I didn't want to disclose that it had been misheard, that had thrown a vodka bottle at me and then took my finger off. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I didn't want to. I tried to just keep things as copacetic and as easy as possible for everyone. I did not want to put her name in that mix.
Mr.
Yes.
Depp, what is this a picture of?
That is, that's me in the emergency room. I see a detail that I'd forgotten. Ms. Heard had taken my cigarette from the ashtray and stomped it out in my face here.
Did you mark on the screen where you see that?
It's right above that green dot.
And do you know who took this picture?
I do not know.
And so, Mr. Depp, now that the jury can see the photograph, can you again explain what that green dot is identifying?
Just above the, well, just above the green dot is a wound from Ms. Heard taking my cigarette, and this is after the finger had gone away, and she stubbed it out in my face and on my cheek. Yep, that's
What is this a picture of, Mr. Depp?
the remains of my finger.
And was this taken shortly after you were injured?
I believe this was taken at the emergency room, I'd imagine.
I'd move to this into evidence, but I'd like to also warn the jury and the people in the
All right.
audience that this is a very graphic picture.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 144.
We can take this down. Thank you.